Can you hear me?
Yes, now,
Yes,
uh,
fine. Yes.
but looks like you're, I don't know, unless you have a separate connection. Looks like connection was dropped. क्या क्या আছে? Oh, yes. Okay. Can you unmute?
Myself. Okay. I'm here.
Welcome, Swamiji. So, you are hoping, sir, we'll start with you prayer and you just lead from the beginning. We can
Okay.
go through opening prayer and like as routine.
And I think you need to allow me to share the screen as well later
Yes.
on, maybe.
Let me, yes, I'm assigning you as a co-host.
Okay.
Just a
Yes.
second. What is the connection? D, oh, D.
Yes. Ready? Is it okay? I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Very good. So, namaste to all of you. Very good morning and good evening from India, Rishikesh. So, and I wish and hope that everybody is going to be enriched with this short session. We are going to speak about something about the pranayama, some meditation, and some about the insight into the asanas as well. So let's begin our session with a short consecration. We sit comfortable and easily. We close our eyes. We allow ourselves to close our eyes, both the hands on the thighs, palms open to ceiling, spine straight, neck straight, shoulder relaxed, chin parallel to the ground, face muscle relaxed, and become aware of the surrounding. Allow yourself to perceive all the things around you, whatever the things are inside your sitting place, including your chair, sofa, yoga mat, or anything you are sitting upon, and the entire space inside the room and the house where are you sitting. Allow yourself to be aware and conscious about everything around you. And as you are finding the connection to the surrounding and the environment, then you withdraw your all the senses back to your physical body. Now move your attention from the toes to the top of the head, observing your body. Observing the body slowly and gradually, then we switch our attention to the breathing. Observe your natural, spontaneous flow of the breath. And the breath is coming in, your chest is slightly rising, your belly is expanding, your whole body is expanding, your sitting bone is going down into the ground. And when you exhale, your whole body is contracting. Again, allow yourself to observe when you are inhaling what's happening in your body. And when you exhale, what's happening in your body. And slowly and gradually, we feel the connection to our breath. We allow ourselves to be aware of our thoughts and emotions and the feelings and the space beyond the thoughts, feeling, and emotions. Connecting to this inner space, holding this awareness of the consciousness throughout your entire body and outside of the body. We allow ourselves to bring our palms in Namaste. We join our palms together, thumbs near to the sternum bone, elbows falling down and out, chest slightly coming forward and up. We take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale. And now for Om chant, we take a deep breath in, inhale.
ભાઈ ઓડિયો સંભળાતો નથી.
Swamiji, you need to unmute again. You need to unmute.
Shrimad Gurum Nityamaham Namami. Shrimad Gurum Nityamaham Namami. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now slowly and gradually becoming aware of our body and surrounding, we open our eyes and we come back. So as we have asked about something about what are the benefits of the yoga, daily yoga practices in our life. It is well known nowadays. It's nobody is. It's nowadays it's widespread. Outside of the India is more, but in the India is also people they are getting awakened that how this is bringing the change in our perception, the physiological changes, the emotional changes, and the changes to the self and the higher self. So the yoga is very well known now, outside of the India also and inside of the India. And nowadays I am doing these therapeutic yoga classes every day. It is a 1 week program where the people they are learning that how to help ourselves in different kind of physical health issues and even the emotional issues, that how we can heal ourselves with the asanas, with the meditation, with the pranayama, with the mantras. And it is a great yogic combination of all these things, which we find a alternative way to treat ourselves physically and emotionally as well. So that's why it's not now, I think nobody is unaware about the benefits of the yoga, but still the few things I would like to say to you. As we know that I would like to take you into the about the brain. We know that if this is the do different kind of approaches. When we say the Western approach and when we say our Eastern approach of looking at any problem, the physical problem or emotional problem, there is a this is a we can say a radical difference. What is this radical difference? Our yogic system says that if there is any physical problem in our body, any of the physical health consequences we are facing, it is filtering from the problem of the mind. And the Western science says, the doctor says that it comes from the physiology. If something happens in your physiology, then it goes to the into the psychology, into the mind. And that is a big difference. Any of the problems comes in our mind, I would like to say even one point further, that any of the emotional or mental problem we face or physical, it comes with the disturbed space inside us. When the space become blocked, any energy channels becomes blocked, flow of the fluid get blocked, elimination get blocked, our breathing system gets somewhere some blocked. Yes, then it comes into the form of any disease. Yes, so this is the difference between these two approaches. Our yoga says that first your space get disturbed. When the space get disturbed, you get some mental emotional blockage. Yes, that's because your mind becomes closed. When mind becomes closed, then our physical body also suffer the consequences. And that's why the yoga, if even you go to any Ayurvedic doctor or the person who is into the yoga, and even if you complain about your headache or I have a lot of thoughts, they will not give you any pill and the tablets you take in. First they will ask about that, how is your belly? Are you your belly is healthy? Do you go for bowel movement every day once or twice, or you feel constipated or any other issues, gas trouble, acidity? There's a lot of other issues are connected. So the Vedda, or we say the yogi, they first will check your belly. How is your belly? Is it soft or hard? Because every most of the problem which are coming in our body, that's also coming from our belly, where our second brain is. But if you go to some Western doctor or any, I'm not against and saying anything uh, anti to it, but this is the just way to see. This is a approach to see the problem with a different angle, and then suggesting the solution also with a different angle. So when we speak about the yoga, yoga is what we say is about the union. And the science say that the health is integration. Health is integration. We say the health is union. It's just the two words, synonymous word. Health as a integration or health as a union. Union of what? Union of our first basic understanding is this, that the union of our body and our mind. And the breath is the bridge in between these two faculties. Because the biggest problem we know and we understand, it was before also in the ancient time, it still does exist, and until the human being will be on this planet, this problem will continue to exist. And what is that problem? The biggest problem and the crisis is not the corona, it's not the any political issue or the environmental issue. Yes, we do talk about it, we do take care about it, but the biggest problem is handling our own mind and emotions. How to handle our own mind and emotions, because our body is always in the present, but the mind doesn't remain in the present. It's always keep oscillating. We have heard this so many times, probably maybe since childhood, but still we are, some of us might be struggling with that how to bring the more focus, more clarity, more serenity inside us. Yes, how to find this one point and focused towards any issue. So this is the issue with us, and the yogi says that the nature, if there is any problem we see, there is a solution also. And what is this solution? The solution is lying in our breath, because our body is in the present, our breath is also in the present. So we take the help of, these are the two anchor. We know when we make the boat stable into the ocean and the river, we use the anchor to keep it stable. And the breath, these are the two anchors. So if we learn to make use of these two, then we can also keep our mind focused and to be present fully. Now, the whole training into the yoga actually is that how we make use of our body and the breath to keep our mind into the present moment. Our breath is always in the present, our body is in the present. That's why I say you cannot take the breath off. You say, oh, I take the breath today more, after tomorrow as well, or I can take the breath today of yesterday as well. This is not possible. This is not possible. We can't give any color to breath. We can't give any nationality to it. Many times the people, they, when we are teaching outside of the India, I have faced this question so many times, that the yoga comes from India or it's come from Hinduism. Isn't the religion? Totally to say no. Your breath doesn't have any religion. Your breath is breath. And when you practice some breathing, it makes you more healthy. It makes you more focused. It makes you more clear about your perceptions, about your ideas. Where are you standing into the life? Where you want to go? It gives the clear-cut picture to you. About the body as well. We can't say that you have the Indian body and you have the American body, the European body, that is superior and that is inferior. No, body is body. When we do practice, make some movement and connect with the breath, and it makes you healthy. It saves you from so many kind of medicines. It saves your health, it saves your money, it saves your time, everything. So that's why if sometime, if the people, they do ask the question that doesn't it belongs to this particular religion, totally there are hundred of reasons you can give to explain them that it is not a religion. It's a totally, we say, it's connecting to your self and the self to the higher self. So connecting to ourself, this is the body, breath, mind. This is the first thing. We bring the integration, the harmony, the connection in between these three things: body, breath, mind. And that is our asanas. Our asanas is not only the asanas that you are doing on the mat and then you get some physical benefit. Actually, asanas is a meditation in the motion. I hope it's make a sense. When we are practicing yoga, when we are doing, let's say, sun salutation, we are doing the yoga into the flow, connecting with the breath. Actually, that's becoming your meditation, walking meditation, meditation in the movement. If you do give 1 hour half practice every day to your body, and this connecting with the breath, then you need not to practice 1 hour meditation extra. That itself slowly and gradually will start becoming the meditation for you. So first finding this connection within ourselves, and then we say connecting ourselves to the higher self. That's the union actually we are looking forward. Now what happens, that why we don't find this connection and the union within ourselves and outside to the others as well? What stops us? So we know about this. One thing is we said about the mind. Our yoga says another thing is there, our intellect. And then there is a man, buddhi, chit, ahankar. These are the 4 factors. We might have heard about this before. Mana, we have talked about this. Mind has some peculiar thing connected is which the yogi were aware of it in the ancient times, and they are well aware about it now also, that what are the problems with the mind. One, we have talked about that it oscillates between the past and the future. Second things, that it clings to the negative. Most of the time it clings to the negative and it doubts the positive. The people, they don't doubt and don't think if they come to buy the cigarette into the market. But when it comes to go to the yoga class, and let's say if you have to pay $5, mind might think about many times. This is a literal example I faced when I was traveling in Europe. I was the guest in one of the house, the Europe German friends. And he was into this habit of smoking. If I'm sorry if anybody has any smoking habits, not too into this, just to give that the mind how it tend to doubt the positive, but it doesn't put the question mark when we are doing something negative or harmful to our own body and the mind. We don't say why I'm doing this. But when it comes to go to the yoga class, asana or meditation and the pranayama or learning about our own self, mind might tend to put so many questions to us. So this guy, I was into the house guest, and then on next day morning, in the evening, before going to the rest, we plan to go in the morning to the one of the garden and there to practice. And then we checked out to that place, and suddenly we came to know that we have to pay some euro to this person to go inside the garden. I didn't know about that. But then when 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed out, so I just then inquired what is happening, why it is getting delayed. And then this person says, who bought previous day lot of beer. He bought many packets of cigarettes. He didn't say ask any question or put any question when he bought all these things. But when it come to spend these €5 to enter into this place to practice, he started arguing with that person. Why should I do this? I'm not also saying this that you should pay for the education and this thing. That is also not the thing. Thing is here just to be aware and conscious and be more clear about it, that the mind tend to doubt the positive and the good things many times in our life, if we see. So these are the some of the characteristics connected with the mind, which the yogi were well aware, and that's why this the mind is like a monkey. Then there is an intellect. Intellect can be get disillusioned. How the intellect get disillusioned? Intellect get disillusioned with the information, various kind of information. That's why nowadays on the internet, the Google is the modern day guru. The people, they go and search on the Google about any kind of, you are getting you hear something, and then you search on the Google and you look, and then you find about the same thing 100 explanation. and then your intellect start wondering which one is right and which one is not right, what is wrong and what is right. That was the problem with the Arjuna as well. The same, you can see his intellect also got disillusioned. He was unable to face that challenging situation. When we become weak in our life, when we face any of the emotional challenge, we have to deal and we have to make the decision connected with our own family members, on our relatives, the near and the dear one. There we might feel weak many times. And that was the situation in front of the Arjuna also. He saw their known one, near and dear one, their family members, they were now standing against, not letting to give what he was deserving to have. Yes, and that he found himself caught up into the emotional problem and this intellect. Then he found himself into a whirlpool, and then he looked forward to the Krishna. Okay, please, you guide me, you help me. I'm unable to decide into this situation. All my near and dear one whom I used to love, I played in whose laps I learned from this person. Now I had to, you are saying to, to struggle against them. This kind of situation we also face so many times. It was not just with the Arjuna. So intellect got disillusioned. Intellect got disillusioned with the information. Here we read something, here we find something, that person is saying this thing, that person is saying that thing. What is right and what is wrong? And then the chitta, the third thing is, the people, some of them, they have explained as a memory. That is not only memory. The chitta actually have been translated in our ancient text. Chitta is the word, it's coming chetna. Chetna means consciousness. So what happens is that our consciousness might get stuck into somewhere into the past, the memory. If we are suffering anything in our life, we are suffering our memory and our imagination. This is another way of saying our past and the future. Life in itself is not suffering. If anybody is suffering, they are suffering their memory and imagination. Memory about the past, imagination about the future. We keep fantasizing things about the future. We doesn't stay in present. And here are very simple formula. Yes, that the life is always into the present. Putting our 100% into the present, it's going to give the solution to our problem and the issues, or to move forward happily in the life. Putting our 100% in our hand, that is our choice. The results not in our choice. So that's the next thing. Opposite values, you might have heard about this. Opposite values are not contradictory to each other, rather it's complementary to each other. When it comes to understanding, when we start seeing the life in a bigger picture, in bigger picture, when we see the life, then we recognize that these opposite values, which seems to be opposite in the life, they are not opposite, rather they are complementary to each other. So when you put your 100%, result can be in your favor or maybe not in your favor. And when you see the life make these two, then your mind not going to run away from the unfavorable and not going to hanker and run after the favorable one, the pleasant one. Total acceptance comes in the life. Total acceptance comes, you go deep into the meditation, and then you start finding the connection to within our own self and to the higher self as well. So the consciousness, the chitta, the chetna, and then ahankara. the ego. This the fourth faculty. Yes. Now, what the modern science say? Just give me 1 second. Maybe I can share with you one the PDF that will help you to understand it more nicely. Yes. So this I have already. The 1 second. I'm able to share the screen, Bikulji. I think so.
Yes, yes, you are co-host. You can share.
Okay. Yes. So that's the yogic structure of the mind. And this is, I have just put some point. Usually we talk and discuss with the, the people outside, they cannot understand all the terminology. So here I try to put it into a short way to understand that the yogic structure of the mind, that there is a consciousness that's we call in our Vedas and in our, the books Purusha. There is a prakriti, the nature, this body and the brain inside everything, that is we call prakriti and purusha. Now prakriti has been divided into the three. That's I was saying, antakarana, chitta, this consciousness, not only the memory. Many times the chit has been translated and explained as a memory, but that is not only a memory, is that's we call a consciousness, chetana. Then buddhi, the intellect, ahankara, ego, and the mind, the manas. These are the, now these things constitute our, so many times we say antakarana. These are the four faculties. Then what disturbs us? This we call chittavritti, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We might have heard this so many times, chittavritti hi nirodha. Yes, there are vrittis, fluctuations, we can say, fluctuations of the mind. Yes, and that bring the structural changes into our the mind and the brain as well. That's why whenever any kind of environmental influence is there, more a negative way, it's going to bring the change in your breathing pattern. Breathing pattern is going to bring the change in our emotional pattern. Emotional pattern, that's why after a long time, if you are emotionally stressed, it's going to bring the change into our brain chemistry. You might know that there is an emotional center in our brain. Now the science is very well recognizing, and it say is limbic system. Limbic system in the center of the brain is processing all the information which we are taking through the eyes, hearing through the ears, smelling through the nose, touching with the hand. All the signals, they go through into the center, this limbic system. And there is a part of the brain that is called amygdala. And if long-term stress, we are not aware of it, we are getting into it, that amygdala shrinks, it becomes short. And as it becomes short, then what is going to happen? That the information, these neuron signals, which goes into the body to send the information, they are not going to be proper. Then that's why when it goes to the physiology, our physiology also get changed, that we get lot of different kind of disease. The disease are the consequence of long-term stress. Long-term stress, I would say. When comes a terrible disease, in beginning maybe little pain here into the shoulder, little pain in lower back or into the belly, or maybe here, we ignore it. We say, oh, nothing happens. But already there is a giving us alarm and signal to be aware about this. There is a structural changes is going to happen because of this stress, and that is here, these vrittis of the mind. Yes, the fluctuation which are happening into the mind, if we don't take it seriously, and we don't make ourselves the effort to stabilize ourselves, it's going to bring a lot of changes into the chemistry of the body and the brain. Yes, then there are more thing is there. I can't go in the whole of the detail, just to give a idea about that what is the yogic structure of the mind, and then later on I will speak about what are we doing with the yoga. Already I have talked about few of the things. Yes, about the union, about the within ourselves, and that will make more sense to us. Yes, this is the mood, the bhava, it's being changed inside us. Yes, there is a cognition means, and externally we are getting the things connected with that. How does this is affected by the mood swing. That's why when you are unhappy, you perceive the things differently. When you are happy, then you touch and perceive the things differently. And this mood getting swinged because of this not getting connection into our svabhava, the real nature. Then there are some vasanas inside, we say residues of experiences inside us, sanskaras, conditioned pattern of thinking and behavior, that's also inside us. They are coming from our since our childhood. The yogis say not only from this life. We in our Vedic Sanskriti, we understand that they are coming from many lives, not only this life. So there is a lot about it. And then there are the different states of our mind, that the muda, stupefied or dullness, then ikshipta, disturbed state of mind, and then vikshipta, alternating. This is a kind of a state where we are flipping to the good side and sometimes not to the good side. That's we were saying the fluctuation. So our mind has certain ability. What are these abilities? Focus and concentration. We can do so. We have that capacity and capability, but it doesn't happen because of some external factors and the environment inside us. Then there are some kleshas, yes, afflictions. What are these afflictions? Raga and dvesa, we say craving and aversions. These are the afflictions we are getting crushed in between them. Yes, the antraya, this the antraya are also very beautiful, beautifully has been explained. We know about this antraya. These are the obstacles in the path of our practice. Antraya is called obstacle. There are 9 kind of obstacles. Who are doing the training with us, probably they have come into that video where we are explaining about this 9 kind of obstacle. This 9 kind of obstacle are very scientific. Everybody who start walking on the path of the yoga, they are going to face those challenges. And it's not only about the yoga. Even if you want to be good in meditation, you will find that you have to struggle in the beginning to overcome these 9 kind of obstacles. And if you don't overcome these 9 kind of obstacles, then the 4 more is there. The Patanjali says that the 4 more is there. And what to do to overcome them? One pointed and one practice. One pointedness and one practice. Take hold of some practice which suits to you, which appeals to you, which fits to your nature, and then just stick on it. Keep on rubbing it again and again. Even the asana class, the yoga class, if you take 90 minutes or 60 minutes, that yes, this is good for me, and then you do it again. That's why consistency into the practice is very, very important. Usually what the people they do practice 2 hour yoga and then 2 days holidays. That is not going to work in long term. Half hour of practice, 1 hour of practice, but every day, that's going to bring the more results to us. Yes. So this is a yogic structure of the mind. Now I take you, this is we have explained in our ancient textbooks. Yes, from there I have taken some of the text. These things has explained Patanjali Yoga Sutra, some from the Bhagavad Gita, and some from the other textbook. But that's I have put in short to understand that what how the things has been explained in our ancient textbooks. Now, what the modern science says, the modern science is explaining these things into the four. They say integration. They say that the health is integration. I'm flipping over. This is a long the PDF. I'm taking to you the main point. That the health is integration. What does it mean, integration? Integration is another word the science is using instead of union. We say union. Yes, the yoga means union. Union of what? As I said, body, mind, and the breath, the self, then the higher self, union between the self and the higher self, or to the higher consciousness, or to the absolute reality. The science says integration. What the integration? Between our top of the head and our body. Front of the head, consciousness. Back of the head, they say subconsciousness. Front and back integration. That's why we say if you're conscious part of the brain and unconscious part of the brain not integrated, then we are going to face the challenges and the consequences in the life. Top down integration. Top down integration, what does it mean? As I said, this limbic part of the brain. If this limbic part of the brain get affected by the stress, long-term stress, is totally going to change the communication between our brain and the rest of the body, with the information going via our nervous system and the spine. Yes. Then there is a third integration. Third integration, the science says left and the right integration. We know that there is a left side of the brain and there is a right side of the brain, and both side of the brain has the different functions. Left side of the brain is more logical, analytical, planning. Yes, you organizing, managing the things. Right side of the brain is more intuitional, more musical, more artistic. And if there is a no proper integration, there is a part inside, in between the two hemisphere of the brain, that works like a bridge. And if that part in between the two hemisphere of the brain, singulate, if that is not allowing the information to go from one to another, then also we are going to feel some lacking in our life. You might have everything around you, but still you might not be happy. And that's we see in the case of so many people. Usually this, I'm not just saying against anything about the men, but usually when we go to some temples and these things, we don't like so much of singing, clapping and singing. The ladies, they can do very easily. Yes, we start wondering why they are clapping. The singing doesn't, it might not interest you. Why? One part of the brain is dominating in you. Or the ladies, that's why sometimes we feel this struggle also between husband and the wife, or vice versa, that they want to say something logically to understand, thinking part of the brain is working very much active, and there this intuitional part is more active, and that's why we find the struggle. But once you have understood this two and has brought in some kind of integration, then it's very easy to harmonize among the people also. So how this integration can happen? Yes, so left and right integration is clear to every one of us. So the science is dividing in four. One is top to bottom, front and back. Yes, and then the third one, left and right, and fourth is outside and inside. Outside is what? Circumstances are there, situations are there, we are meeting different kinds of people, we come into the contact of different kind of objects. These are the four things. And what is inside? Inside there is a space in you where our inner space is coming into interacting with these four things. So now, where is the stress? That how we approach these different kind of objects. You are going to approach them in a healthy way when in the inner space you are clear, you are pure, everything is clear to you. Then you are going to see the things also clearly, and you are going to make the decision which are going to be in long term good for you, not into the short term only. Yes, and then this is drishta swarupe avasthanam. You start getting established into that inner space, that the space of the, or we call the consciousness, and that is like a seer. It can see the things, everything, not necessary that you get into those things. Usually you might have heard this, be in the flow. In the outside country, outside of the India, everybody is speaking about, oh, be with the flow, oh, be with the flow, be with the flow. But we don't say only be with the flow, we say be witness of the flow. And I want to say this to all of you, that's make a big difference of understanding. Being with the flow means everything you are just rolling. You don't have any inner stability to watch and to observe and to filter. You put the filter that need to be done, this is worth doing, and this is not worth doing. Then not necessarily do you go with that, you just let it to go. You are getting stable into your inner space. So that the four kind of integration in the modern science is speaking about. Now the question is how to bring this integration. The yoga helps to bring that integration. How the yoga helps to bring that integration? All different kind of mental illness and the disease, illnesses, we say there's so many kind of mental, there's so many, there's list of 100 of list, different kind of problem. Why is there? Because of lack of integration. So we can bring with the yoga this integration, and we can save ourselves from this so many kind of mental illnesses. How we can bring that integration? That's why when you are doing this asanas standing on one leg, what are the asanas on one leg? You might know tree pose,
Yes.
vrikshasana. Yes. Then what are the other standing pose? Who are practicing it with the hand?
Utkrishta Hasta Padangushtasana.
Yes. What else other?
And say Garudasan, eagle pose.
Eagle pose. Very good. Eagle pose, then Natarajasana, dancer pose. So what actually, when we are standing on one leg, what is happening? When you are standing on one leg in these balancing poses, that's why we call the balance pose. So let's say when you are standing on left leg, what are you doing? You are activating and involved your right side of the brain. And then you change, flip the side, then you come stand on the right side, then you activate your left side of the brain, and then you come to the standing, you bring the balance, integration, and the harmony between these two parts of the brain. This is about left side, left and right integration. In the similar way, I can give some examples about top and down integration. Here is the clue to practice our yoga. It's not just, okay, you are lying down, how much body you're flexible. That's also good. It give a good shape to yourself. It will make you trim, slim and trim, and make you shining and glowing. But that is not only thing we are looking. We are looking for this internal integration, vertical integration. The biggest thing if the India in ancient time has given to the word, that is vertical integration, verticality. What is this vertical integration? This I was saying before, top to down. What does it mean, this top to down? That when you are, let's say, you breathe in, inhale, when you're giving the instructions, breathe in, inhale, open your arms. You are opening the arms into the space. You are not only opening the arms into the space, internally there is some chemistry is changing in our body. So becoming aware of that movement and allowing ourselves to observe the sensations arising out of this movement of our body into the space, that we call proprioception into the science. Proprioception means becoming aware of our body movement into the space. And asanas are what? Moving our body into the space. So we are becoming aware of our asanas. Now there is certain sensations is happening. So becoming aware of that sensation, and through that sensations, where these sensations are arising into the space, like we say our emotions are arising, where it arising? Into the space, like clouds. We give the example that our thoughts and emotions like floating clouds. In similar way, our sensation arising into the different parts of the body, when we do the asanas, when you are becoming aware of it, you go deeper into those sensations, but those sensations are coming from the deeper inner space, and that space has been called in our Vedas and the scriptures the consciousness. That's why the Atma Akaswat. That's why we call the Chidakas, Hirdakas. And when this everything get opened, the brain also get open, the heart, the space into the heart also get open, everything get united, and then you will see there is a free flow of information. It's coming from your entire personality. Yes. So that integration start happening in our life, top to bottom. Even when you are putting the foot, how you are touching to the ground, you start becoming aware of that, how you are touching to the ground, your foot when it's placing. Usually when the mind is filled with the thought, a lot of thoughts, that usually happens, when the body gets occupied with more of the vata and the air, and if it goes into the brain, you go in a lot of thinking and imagination, and then you are not aware of that, how your feet are touching to the ground. That's why people, they keep hitting the toes, and some ankle is twisting, and here the person is falling, there is falling. That awareness is not there of moving the body into the space, and that's the yoga taught us before, that how to bring this, when the brain is get filled up with so many kind of thoughts, then we start putting our awareness into the body, what's happening into the body. And when any physical action is doing, that signals are being sent into the brain. So you become more and more present into the moment. And that through the yoga can happen. That's why we say grounding, bringing the stability. What are the posture bring the grounding and stability? Anyone? All the yoga postures, they help us, but there are certain postures which bring the more stability inside us. Are we aware about them?
Mountain pose.
Tadasana.
Tadasan, right? Tadasan.
Yeah.
Shirshasana.
What are the others?
Shashankasan, Vajrasan.
Vajrasan, Sasankasan, but there are more other asanas which are more profound to bring the stability. What are these asanas? Paschimottanasana, Jano Sirsasana, where in the Kundalini yoga also, when you practice them, you practice with certain pranayama, and they brings the more grounding and stability in you. These asanas are the ways to activate our Muladhara chakra and the second chakra, to bringing the more energy into it and bringing the stability inside us, more grounding. Another way of bringing the more grounding and stability is forward bend. Forward bend helps to calm down our nervous system. Yes, standing, the forward fold, wide leg spread pose, Parasarita Padottanasana, mountain pose before we said. So these postures, what they are doing? They are bringing the more stability inside. When they practiced with certain kind of breathing. Certain kind of breathing means prolonged exhalation or deeper and longer breath. Then it brings the more stability inside us. So that's how with the different kind of asana, you are bringing the different kind of emotions and these characteristics inside us. Is it clear? Now, this is about the asanas. I have said until now about the asanas, because there was some, the question was that how the yoga is bringing. And that's, I said you, the more scientific way also, that how it bring the health to us, not only of physical well-being, but emotional well-being as well as spiritual well-being. Now, the another thing, the most important thing which plays the role here is the pranayama. That's how I'm saying the breathing. No, now, I would like to take you into the breathing part. Yes, probably I need to go to the another section, and there we will look into a little bit more about the breathing, that what the Patanjali says about the breathing. Actually, what I have heard about it, and that's made me sense very long time when I was in teenage. I was practicing with one Swamiji, Swami Vinodanandaji, and he always used to emphasize the some Kriya Yoga and the Kriyas and about the pranayama in the morning, 4 o'clock. So I remember some of the still in my memory, these things goes along with that. Yoga is not a yoga without pranayama. Actually, our yogic journey, it begins with the pranayama. And there are certain reasons to say that. What happens when we get bombarded with the emotional trouble and with the physical trouble? Our breath pattern gets changed. And that's we have seen and observed. A baby, the way it's breathing, when we go over 14 and 15 years of age, until that age, our breath totally has changed. It has gone vice versa. Every one of us, we used to breathe in a certain way. And what was that breath? That when we are inhaling, our chest is slightly rising, our belly is expanding, and the whole body is expanding. If you look at the baby, 6-month baby and 1-year child, you can very clearly see it, that how the breathing is happening. When we are inhaling, not only the chest is expanding, the whole body is expanding. When you are exhaling, it's contracting. Now what happens? We call it a reverse breathing. Usually I speak about it when we speak about the healthy breath. Reverse breathing, what does it mean? Reverse breathing is that when we inhale, what happens? Anyone know about it? What does it mean about the reverse breathing?
When you reverse breathe, your belly comes up, and then when you exhale, is the belly goes down. In the
No, this is
normal
the normal
breathing,
breathing.
when we do the
But
deep
what is
breathing,
reverse
we
breathing?
basically
Is otherwise. The way you have talked is otherwise. That's we call a reverse breathing. That we inhale, our belly doesn't go out in those people. Our belly goes in. That's called reverse breathing. It is not a correct breathing. Reverse breathing is not correct breathing. And that usually start happening as we cross the 15, 16, 17 year of age, because a lot of things to do outside, career, study, and a lot of other things. Then we forget about the connection. We lose the connection with our body. We lose the connection with our breath. We get lost into the external world so much that the natural organic way of breathing in the body, it get lost. So reverse breathing is when we inhale, what happens? Our belly goes in. But what is the normal breathing? When we inhale, our belly comes out. As I already have said about it, you see this, how the babies are breathing. And now, because our breathing has not remained natural, that's why tasmin sati swasa praswasar gati vichedah pranayama. Now here Patanjali is saying that what we need to do, now we need to break that pattern of the inhalation and exhalation. Swasa praswasa, inhalation and exhalation, gatihi vichedah, breaking that. That is the pranayama. Very simple definition. Now we break this pattern of the breath with the various kind of ways. That's we call different kind of pranayama.
then what's the difference
Equal
between
inhalation and exhalation, prolonging exhalation. Yes, somebody is saying something.
yeah, so what's the difference between the
Question, just go through it and then I take some question. What is the difference between
deep breathing and reverse breathing?
Yes, reverse breathing is, as I said earlier, when we inhale. So how, let's place your hand on your belly. So whosoever is raising the question, just place your, let's do everyone, let's do it. So we place our hand onto the belly, both the hand on the belly. And now as I say breathe in, inhale. So as you inhale, allow the belly to expand. And then rib cage are expanding, our chest is expanding. And when you exhale, rib cage are getting down, belly is also getting down. So this is normal breathing. Now, what is reverse breathing? When I say breathe in, inhale, allow to expand your belly. What happens with the people? They contract the belly, like in the fear. When you get some fear or suddenly something, so you see, you do what happens? Does your belly expand? No. It's contracting. And these kind of movements so many times happens in our life. So reverse breathing is with the inhalation, your body is contracting, not expanding. What is the natural breath? When we inhale, our body is expanding. What is the reverse breathing? When we inhale, our body get contracted. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. So now this breaking the pattern of the breath, what it will do, it will take you in the beginning. That's why the pranayama is not so easy for everybody. Lot of purifications happen, lot of we have to face emotional challenge. Just today I spoke during the day, that girl is doing from the Europe, our TTC, and then she was doing, every time I do pranayam I cry. Why I'm crying? Why?
I think connection got frozen.
Of the heart, and that's why we start holding when we do practice pranayama.
બકુલભાઈ પાછું સ્ટાર્ટ કરવાનું કહેજો જ્યાંથી ફ્રોઝન થયું ત્યાંથી પ્લીઝ.
Yes, I know. Looks like he got dropped. Let me see. કદાચ connection drop થઈ ગયું છે. Net નો ઘણી વખત issue થતો હોય છે એટલે.
ના બકુલભાઈ is there. I think he's on the third page.
Reconnect થાય એટલે mute થઈને reconnect થાય.
Yeah, connection drop થઈ ગયું લાગે છે. Let me check. Oh yeah, okay.
Everybody.
Yes, Swamiji, we lost all the way from past couple of minutes. So you need to repeat. Sorry, we completely lost the voice and video.
Okay, I'm just going to another internet connection. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Okay. Can we hear me now?
Yes, it's better. So yeah, you were talking about that European girl was crying during pranayama. So then after that, we didn't hear anything.
Yes. Okay. I'm coming back to that thing. So I was saying that holding the emotions, because from the very beginning, when she talked to me, so I recognize this, that is, she's holding a lot of tension into the shoulder, the upper back, and emotional stress also. And that's what she was started getting released when she started practicing pranayama. So when the natural breathing pattern is getting broken, then all these things, the emotions are also, we are going to clogged with that. And when we start practicing pranayama, that's why the first thing happens, the purification. Purification is going to help to purify our emotions, and that's why sometimes it's not so easy in the beginning to practice the strong pranayama. Slowly and gradually, we adapt our body, or our body started getting adapted when we, for certain period of time, slowly and gradually, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of pranayama, when we continue to practice, slowly and gradually our body becomes adaptable to that, and then we can lead ourselves into the strong kind of pranayama, and that's going to change our rhythm of the breath and bringing us back into the natural rhythm of the breath. So in the beginning, many times we have to struggle, we have to face this struggle, but the positive and the good thing is that definitely when we consistently we stick to that practice, we are going to come back to the natural rhythmic breathing again, as we were doing into our childhood, into our youth, into our adulthood. This is what all the yogis they have emphasized about the breathing. Who are, let's say, more signing into the society, every one of them, they are emphasizing the breathing and the pranayama. What does this do pranayama in our life? This is the technique actually he's telling about, sir. But what is the effect of it? What he is talking about, this is a very beautiful thing. The next he is saying about that what does the pranayama to our life, and what is this this is about saying that how the bhaya and abhyantra stamba vritti desh kale sankhya viparidrishto drik sukshama. He is here speaking about different kind of techniques. I'm not going to into that. Yes, bhaya means we know external, antar means internal, stamba means holding. That's why we do different kind of pranayama. Yes, Mahayoga pranayama is that kind of pranayama where you hold internally, externally also, and doing, including some rhythmic breathing as well, short way, long way, different kind of breathing. He is giving here these different kinds of pranayama. Where I want to take you basically that what is the benefit of doing this? One is it's bring to us natural state of our this breathing. Another thing what it does, it removes the covering from our light. Tat akshiyate prakasa avarnam. What the pranayama does, it removes the covering from our light. Avarnam, covering, prakasa, light, ikshiyate, removes slowly and gradually all the avarna. We know the three kind of avarna we have. The Veda, where our Vedas speak about three kind of avarna. What are these three kind of avarna? One is physical impurity, the another is mental impurity, and then there is another covering they call that actually until we don't remove it, we are not going to be super happy in our life. We can live the life, but we are not going to be ecstatic and joyful and happy. So there are these three kind of avarnas. They call it malaha, vikshepa, avarna. Mala means physical impurity. Vikshepa, as I saw into the first yogic structure of the mind. Vikshepa means mental disturbance, agitations, and there is a avarna on our blissful nature. There is a covering. The yogis, they have not given any name. They say that we can be oblivious and we can remain unaware about that, but we Without removing that also, we are not going to explore and getting established into this ecstatic and blissful nature within us. So the pranayama does that work. It helps to purify our physical body, removes the mala, then vikshepa, it brings the stability in our mind. And then the third is avarana also. It removes that covering from the source of our light. We are all the source of light. It's not there that something outside we go and find the light. It is our innate nature. Why we are not able to recognize that? Because of these avaranas and the vikshepas and the malas. And the pranayama helps to remove those malas and vikshepa and let us to get in touch with that light, prakasa inside us. This is the benefit of pranayama. Now, many times the question, we see externally in outside world, we practice pranayama. Why do we practice? We want to get rid of some physical disease. We have some emotional issues. We want to somehow sort out them, family issues or some business issue or career issues or other issues. These are the byproduct of our practice. That is not our focus. Our focus is that how I can liberate myself from the bondages of the life, the suffering of the life. That is our, or get into this recognition of this innate nature, the light which is I am, the source of joy which is I am, how I get connection with that. That is our intention. That's why in every kind of prayer, when you see in the Upanishad also, when they are starting to talk and discuss, they start with the prayer. And what are these prayer? Let my speech be get established into my mind. Let my mind be get established into my intellect. Let my mind be get established into the self, and the self into the higher self. Oh Lord, please help me to get this integration. These are the prayers. Yes. So with the pranayama, it happens more quickly. That is the importance of it. That it removes the veils of the misery. It removes the veils of the any physical disease, mental illnesses, and it let us to get into touch with the very innate nature, which is a light in itself, the joy in itself. This is not that me saying here. This is our ancient scriptures are saying here. That the joy which we are looking into the life, it's not something. You are the fountain of the joy. Why I'm not able to feel and experience it? Because of certain impurities. And when we remove those impurities, then we get into touch with this. Now, when we remove this, when we practice pranayama, what happens? Another thing which we are trying to do with the practice of the yoga, or I would say yoga, when we start practicing pranayama, this is another beautiful sloka, mind becomes fit for dharana. Then you need not to struggle with the mind. Your mind automatically start focusing and start settling. Dharana suchi yogata mansaha. The mind start getting the abilities of the focus and the concentration. Then you are able to focus on one thing for longer period of time. Your mind, that's why when you practice pranayama, what happens? In the beginning, maybe when you do few rounds of Kapalabhati or Bhastrika, in the beginning, maybe you don't feel comfortable if you are a very beginner, but when you practice, suddenly you observe some flow of the prana and energy, and your mind starts settling into it. You start coming back automatically. You don't have to pull that. Automatically, slowly and gradually, our mind gets the ability to stabilize. That is another thing with the pranayama. When the mind start getting this ability to get focused on one thing for longer period of time, and that continues even more longer, that turns into the meditation. So that's why the pranayama is in between. Yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So pratyahara means turning your senses inward. When you start practicing pranayama, automatically the pratyahara start happening in your life. Pratyahara start happening in your life, your mind start becoming more focused. And when you continue to practice, you start becoming more focused, and then you are able to stay your focus on one thing for longer period of time. That is the meditation, dhyana. Meditation is not something else. Yes, that you see here. The mind get this ability of focus. Yes, dharana means focus, and then automatically chittasya swarupa anukara swe indriyanam. All the indriyas itself, swa means itself we call. It take the form of that our consciousness. Now what our senses are doing, it's are taking the form of this little thing outside. Then it start taking the form of itself. Actually, is what does it mean taking the form? That senses start getting back to into ourself, and you are start feeling expanded. It becomes the part of that, the consciousness. It getting merged with that, merging with the infinity. That is the correct word. We use that. Start dissolving into that infinity, the higher consciousness. That start happening with that. So I'm just going quickly through this. Now, when this start happening, what happens? Tataha parma vashyate indriyanam. Then you get the control over your senses. But if you see, in the root is the pranayama practice. That is the consequence. Later on, Patanjali is speaking about here, that these are the consequences of it. What of the consequences? It removes the covering. We get in touch with the light. When we get in touch with the light, our mind, now, do you need, when you see the light, do you need to struggle to pull your mind back? It just stays there. It recognizes, yes, I am the source, I am the light, I need to bring from outside. Now what to struggle? Nothing. So your mind automatically starts settling inside. And then mind starts settling inside. It start enjoying within yourself, and your senses also start becoming under your control. And slowly and gradually you get tata prama vashyate indriyanam. Then you get the control of our all the senses. Now is all the senses taking control of us. Sense of smell is pulling somewhere, sense of eyes is pulling somewhere, sense of ear is pulling us somewhere, the mind is pulling us somewhere, intellect is saying something else, is pulling us somewhere. We all are messed up inside. The many people you see, it's like this. They all are inside, they messed up. Everything it seems to be topsy-turvy. But when you start practicing, what start happening? You start getting organized in a more better and more beautiful way. Slowly and gradually, when you start practicing pranayama, these abilities start coming, your senses start coming under your control. Now, whatever the work you are doing, whether you are doing the study, whether you are doing the job, whether you are doing your business, you will start excelling into it. Why? Because now you are able to focus on the thing, and you can well organized. When we start focusing and well organized, then this is a very beautiful thing. Usually the people, they think about dharana, the concentration is something to focus on the crystal, on the wall, on the diagram, on the yantra, on the this and that. Here Patanjali is giving a very beautiful idea and the thing here. He said, Des bandhasya chittasya dharana. Once you get a glimpse of the light within you with the practice of pranayama, again I'm taking to you that. Now again and again this consciousness, once you get the experience of it, des bandhasya chittasya, that consciousness, you start putting again and again where desha bandha, the space. Here desh means not the country. Here desh means space inside us. So you start binding. Bandha, start binding means start putting again and again back to your inner self. That's why it leads to us meditation. You start getting that ability that again and again you start focusing on your inner self more and more, more and more. And then day by day, you see more awakening in your life, more light in your life, more freedom, more joy. Now you no more feel victimized of your physical health or emotional health, because now you understand that you are not only the physical body or the mind, it again and again. You start sitting with you. That's why our yogis say that at least to sit for the meditation in the morning and in the evening, and we start doing it regularly, slowly and gradually, this experiences start becoming a reality, and it starts staying longer. So this is dharana. The continuation of the dharana, it leads to us meditation, dhyana, that's the tattva pratyekatmata dhyanam. When that dharana is getting fixed on one point for longer time, it's like the example is being given here in our Vedas. They say that what is the meditation and the dhyana? They say is like the oil drop is dropping. There is a difference between the drop of the water and drop of the oil. Yes. So drop of the water, how it goes? It just break. But drop of the oil, it will stretch longer and then it fall down. So they say, yogis say the meditation is like this. Your concentration now for longer time. Now you can focus on one thing for not for many hours, many days, and that start you getting into the state of samadhi. So giving you in nutshell this clear picture that how these things are flowing one after another into our life and helping us into the state of equanimity and helping us to resolve our physical issue, emotional issues, spiritual issues, and everything which we feel ourselves bounded. In this very life, we can make the difference to our life and we can be alive, happy, and liberated. We need not to wait for many lifetime. It can, when you start practicing pranayama, it in this very life and in a very short period of time, it start happening to your life. Not only getting rid of the disease, not only getting rid of some emotional problem, spiritually getting established into the self. That the Bhagavan Krishna says, Sthit Pragyaha. You don't wait for, oh, so many lives I have to wait or do these things. In this very life, in this very moment, you start feeling it. And then you start giving your time every day, little more. Once you get this experience, and then you start going more and more into it. Now the meditations becomes the way of living for you. It's not that separately you need to should this happens later on. I'm not showing that this is going to happen suddenly, but that will happen. Then your life itself becomes the meditation. That's the two kind of samadhi we call. And most of the samadhis we see around the life, our our yogis and enlightened master lived. That is Sabija Samadhi. Patanjali says Sabij Samadhi means they are working everything around them. They are enjoying the things, being into the state of Samadhi. Sabij, that's why I call that the thoughtful, being into the actions, being into the state of Samadhi, they can be into the actions. And the Nirbhij Samadhi is beyond the actions. There is no thought, no action. But the Sabij Samadhi is, there is a thought also, and there is an action, but the thoughts and action lead to you higher consciousness. Every kind of actions and every kind of word you are uttering from your mouth, that will also will give the indication and lead us to the higher consciousness and the state of consciousness within ourselves, that we call sthita pragya or the samadhi. So that is our, in nutshell, yogic journey. And now I take some questions from, let me see if we do have the questions.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much. Yes, open
this,
to, sorry. Now it's open to audience and thank you so much.
yes,
कि बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स कवर हो गए। मैंने जो एक्सपेक्ट किया था उससे भी बहुत सारे ज्यादा पॉइंट्स हमने कवर कर लिए। खूब खूब धन्यवाद। Now open to the audience. Anybody can unmute.
स्वामी जी, आपने जो सभी योगा और निर्विज योगा का बात किया वो बहुत मेरे मन में
one
वही
second,
क्वेश्चन था और आपने वो आंसर दे दिया। सबीज योगा क्या है और निर्बीज योगा क्या है? और मेरे ख्याल से तो ऐसा लगता है कि सबीज योगा वो है जो अपने योगा से भगवान के पास पहुंचना है और बर्थ एंड रीबर्थ से मुक्त होना है।
Yes, yes. Sabij means there is a, like the, your mantra is also the beach. You know, what we call the mantra when you get initiated, any guru or the teacher is giving you a mantra initiation. What they basically do, they say, oh, this is like a seed. Keep it very safe. Do it every day. You chant it, you meditate with it. And then slowly and gradually, what that is going to do is going to take you into the state of samadhi, is going to give you the experience of the divinity, is going to take you into the state of the higher consciousness more and more. So you are still eating and talking to the people, you are doing, you are carrying your family responsibilities. This is a, in a very simple word, that's, it has been explained as a sabit samadhi. And then you start going into the some more kind of actions also, like then you get into the yoga teaching, meditation teacher, you start, you know, these things you start putting in your life, and then slowly and gradually you start getting the glimpses of the nirbij samadhi also. It is actually the way to go slowly and gradually into the higher consciousness. So you have understood it correctly.
Yes, Dimant.
Thank you.
Dimant,
Thank you very much, Swamiji. It was a very good explanation about all these yogikas, kriyas. The question I have is about pranayama. It's a cessation of breath and inhalation or exhalation. Could you expand on that a little bit? What does that mean by cessation? Thank you.
Sorry, I have not understood your question clear.
The definition of pranayama, it says the cessation of inhalation and exhalation.
Yes. Inhalation, now I'm inhaling, everyone is inhaling and exhaling. Yes. But there is also pause of the breath. There is a slight pause is happening in every inhalation and exhalation externally. That's the yogis, they said that our breath, when it goes out, it goes almost 25 centimeters below the nostrils, and then it starts coming back to your nostril. It goes into the lungs. Yes. So this, there is a gap, there is a short gap in between our inhalation and exhalation, and that's the, here Patanjali is giving the idea and indication to us that this inhalation and exhalation, if we make it longer, and rhythmic and smooth, and we hold also breath for longer. As we hold the breath, we might have experienced it so many times. Your thoughts also stop, maybe for a very short time, but it stops. And then slowly and gradually, when you continue to, what happens? Less thought, less thought, less thought. And there is a one more sutra that says dhyana heyas tad vrittaya. What does it mean? That slowly and gradually our vrittis, vrittaya, heya means start decreasing. Slowly and gradually it start decreasing, it start becoming less and less. Here I would like to say, many times there is a the world's vocabulary is not sufficient to translate the exact, to give an exact translation. And the similar thing has happened with the cessation also. Actually, the cessation is not a correct word. We can be the seer, drishta. That's why Patanjali also using the word drashta sarupe avasthanam. When you start practicing pranayama slowly and gradually, you start getting established into this, the self also. Tada davrushta. Now different kind of pranayama, that's why I will give you the example here, and it might help you to understand that when we are angry, how our breath is.
Sure, sure,
It's
sure.
very well understood. Your breath is very chaotic and fast. Yes. When we get sick, how is the breath is? Anybody have observed?
Very slow.
Our incoming breath is more dominant, or outgoing breath is more dominant?
Outgoing.
Anybody? Outgoing breath. So when we get sick, what happens? Our outgoing breath is more dominant. When you are joyful and happy, have you observed which breath is dominant, outgoing or incoming?
Incoming.
Incoming breath is dominant. So if you see, with every kind of emotions and the thoughts, our breath pattern is getting changed. And that is actually with the pranayama, what we are doing, we are changing our breath pattern, and then we are changing our emotions also. I hope this now it will make the more sense to us. So with the pranayama, that's why there are Kapalabhati, Bhastrika is more vigorous pranayama. Full yogic breath, or we call this Mahayoga pranayama. These are more rhythmic, longer inhalation and exhalation. Kumbhaka, we do Uddiyana Bandha, Mool Bandha. We are holding a breath for longer time. These are the different variations and the different kinds of pranayama. Nadi Shodhan pranayama we do, and here in our 200-hour TTC, I tell you the exact mantra. Usually the people, they do practice without the mantra Nadi Shodhan pranayama, but when you practice with the pranayama, you practice with the mantra Nadi Shodhan pranayama, it brings the more quicker results to us. This is also another thing, that only pranayama, it might take longer time, but you when practice the pranayama with the mantras, it even bring the more quicker results to us. That thing has not, the Patanjali has not explained and mentioned, but there are some other texts where it has been mentioned that when we can combine the pranayama and the mantras together, and that is the way to bring the more quicker results to ourselves, whether of our physical issue, whether of emotional or spiritual issues as well. I hope this helped you to answer your question.
Yes,
Swamiji,
thank you very much. That was very good explanation.
Swamiji,
Yes.
you have explained that brain integration very well, and there are 3 integration you was asking, telling us, but there is, you said on like lobe, that integration of that lymph node or something, lymph node. Can you explain that a little bit more in detail?
No, I said about, yeah, I think, no, I said maybe due to the internet or something. I said 4 kind of integration. the science is speaking about. What is this 4 kind of integration? One, I said top to bottom. For them, the top is the brain and bottom is our body. So top to bottom. This is the one. Then second is frontal cortex, which is involved into executing and planning and administration and management and in so many things. And then back, subconscious part of the brain. So front and back integration, conscious and subconscious. Now the third integration which I talked about it, that is left and right, top to down, front and back, left and right. And the fourth is outside and inside. Four integration. The science speaks about it. And out of these 4, these all is are important, but that's also slowly and gradually we get into the union, the wholesomeness. We become a one whole being. Exactly.
Swamiji, one quick
So,
question regarding the reverse breathing. In
yes.
pranayam, do we ever do reverse breathing? And if we do, which pranayam do we use the reverse breathing?
No, we don't do reverse breathing. Rather, we are nullifying the reverse breathing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
the people, they are doing the reverse breathing because of ignorance. They are not aware about the breath and their body, what's happening. That is the reverse breathing. Reverse breathing is not a good breathing. Yes. So we bring ourselves into we break that reverse breathing and come back to our natural
Normal.
breathing.
Now, one other question I have is regarding the meditation. Is it better to do meditation early in the morning, even without doing your pranayams and your exercises, or is better to do afterwards?
Well, this is a very good question. There is it's good to do in the beginning that we incorporate with the pranayama. That's how in our ancient scripture has been explained that it is good to practice pranayama before the meditation. As I said, when we practice pranayama, it loosens certain grip of our mental activities we were carrying, or when we come out of the sleep also, there might be a little bit heaviness. So if you do certain pranayama and then you do meditation, whether you do mantra meditation or without the mantra, both are okay. Yes. But before that, here I would like to give you one indication. There is a phase, there is a period when you just wake up, you open your eyes, you are on the bed, and you're completely coming to the waking state. Yogis, they have told about this a lot, that before going to the bed, like you go into the sleep, if you can spend 10-15 minutes at that time before just going to the bed, and as you come out of the bed, if you can use that 10-15 minutes for a short meditation, that can also brings a lot of change. Why? Because you are coming from that sleep to the waking state. The same thing happens into the meditation and the samadhi and the waking state.
Yes. So the reason why I ask you this question is because I tried both way and I do feel the difference. The way that you
Yes.
just said that before going to the bed and then right before you waking up, it does make a big difference in your meditation.
Exactly.
Thank you
Yes,
so
it
much.
does make a big
Appreciate it.
difference. That's why in our training also, before the people who took, I told them also, I gave this for a long period of time, that every day when you're just supposed to go to the sleep, use the 10-15 minute meditation and this awareness, being aware, you sleep to the sleep, and then slowly when you wake up in the morning, then also you sit 10-15 minutes closing your eyes. Don't fall back into the sleep. This is usually can happen, that we fall back again into the sleep, then it's going to lose the entire importance. But if we can be aware 10-15 minutes, because we are coming this very deep sleep to the waking state, so this is the way to go into the meditation and coming out of the meditation, so that you start understanding a lot of things about your life. Here Patanjali has given one clue, that if you understand the sleep, you understand the meditation. In one of the sutras he speak about the sleep, the various ways of meditation where he's explaining, and the knowledge, the sleep also he has mentioned. And that's why in the sleep it's still there are a lot of things unknown. I do speak about some therapeutic yoga about improving the sleep and how we can make it better, yoga nidra and some other thing is there, but there is a more mystery and into our sleep. If we can understand it, then we can understand our life. That is Patanjali it's saying, but my understanding is also similar. So thank you for raising this question, and that will help to understand others as well.
Thank you so much.
Kiran bhai, you go ahead. Kiran bhai Parikh.
स्वामी जी प्रणाम, बहुत बहुत अच्छा
प्रणाम।
लगा आपके सूदिंग वॉइस सुन के, वेरी वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छा लगा। एक सवाल था मेरा, एक हम जो प्राणायाम की बहुत दूसरे और टाइप्स ऑफ प्राणायाम के हम जानते हैं थोड़ा थोड़ा और फॉलो भी करते हैं, लेकिन कोई एक प्राणायाम ही करना है कि ये 5-6 एक साथ में वन बार वन करना है, ये इसके लिए?
ये आपके ऊपर निर्भर करेगा, और ये मतलब pranayam is a such a thing, we cannot apply all kind of pranayama on every kind of people. That thing we need to understand. Let's say if somebody has high blood pressure and we say, oh, you do practice Kapalbhati and pranayama and you do apply the bandhas, it's going to create the more problem for them. So in the similar way, we can say the person, let's say who have the asthmatic problem, we can't suggest them also to practice, strong breathing and the pranayama in the beginning. It can impact other way around. Similar thing about the women also, there are many things on the pregnancy and the menstruations and other things. We cannot say all kind of pranayama to practice them. So the pranayama is, it brings the quicker result. I have explained, it brings the more results to our life, but at the same time, we need to consider and take into the consideration the health issues of each individual. Yes, and then we can make a combination. I don't make the combination when I give the therapeutic yoga consultation to the people. Usually I speak 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, not more than 3 pranayama I give in one sequence. 5 minutes of pranayama, 15 minutes, it's enough. I know some yogis here also, they do teach 7 kind of pranayama, this thing. That also we can practice, but then you need certain observation on you and the medical, the little follow-up, that anything, any hormones and the chemical doesn't get disturbed. Usually a few rounds of Kapalbhati, the Bhastrika, and some slow rhythmic breathing. Slow rhythmic breathing means Ujjayi pranayama, full yogic breathing, abdominal breathing, this kind of breathing, making a combination of active pranayama and the slow pranayama is the good idea. Generally speaking. Generally speaking, yes.
स्वामी जी, आपका थेराप्यूटिक योगा है वो ऑनलाइन पे है क्या?
Yes, we have some recording also. We are providing the recording also. They can watch on their time zone and according to their comfort. I have the 7 classes. Okay. These 7 classes are about healthy breath, about the healthy digestion, about the healthy brain, as I talked about the brain integration. Yes, about healthy brain. Then the stress, how to manage the stress, healthy stress. Then about the healthy pelvic floor, pelvis issues leads to certain kind of pain, lower back pain. There are many factors behind the lower back pain. One of them is our pelvis. And I have that one class about the pelvis and about the healthy emotions, healthy sleep. So 7 topics I have recorded. So the people, they are getting those recording and then they are watching. And usually in fortnightly, I'm giving the online live classes also.
We get this
Link.
recording, sir. I
Link.
mean, Swamiji.
Link क्या है?
Sorry, one by one, I can't hear.
This recording for the therapeutic yoga.
How this recording?
Link.
The link recording
Oh.
of the therapeutic yoga, sir.
Link to the recording. You need to visit the Vakulji has,
Yes.
I think, link. He can share the website link. You can contact him, and there you can read some information and the way to.
Yeah, I did post a few days ago. I did post Divine Yoga website and Facebook page and everything in our yoga group. And I know you have the website as well. So look into that, and there are contact number as well.
Okay.
There are a couple of questions here. Srutiben is asking, like, for kids or for themselves, either for kids during school break hours or for themselves during work hours if they take break. Is there any specific pranayama you can suggest that they can just spend some time on that, do that instead of doing multiple, just one or two?
Sorry, can you repeat the question for the kids?
Yeah, for kids, well, at the school or the people when at the work, when they take break, they have some time, like short time. If there is something, then they can practice one of the pranayama.
Yes, we can pranayama, just we can help them to find the connection with the breath. When we are saying about the kids, I don't know about the age, usually between 8 to 14 age of the if our child is, we can let them to connect to the breath, om chanting, then this ujjayi breath also. Then another kind of is the funny breath, little bit like a full yogic breath we do, but with the kids we do little bit more, more fun way. So how is in the more fun way? This is the one example I give. That much of the movement into the breathing can help them to improve a lot of creativity and to bring the concentration in their life, but not the strong pranayama, because already they have a lot of energy, so that might lead to certain states of not to be so comfortable. So usually that's why this strong practice is also advised after 17-18 year of age, not before that. But little like Bhastrika, these variations of Bhastrika, yes, just few 10 round, maybe 10 multiple of 3, 10 10 10, or full yogic breath, these, but not vigorous pranayama, maybe just 1 and 2, not more than 2.
Yep. And there is one question, Haresh bhai, please discuss meditation technique like Vipassana.
Yeah. So what is the question about the Vipassana?
Meditation technique like Vipassana. So I don't know exactly what is the question on that, but say, please discuss meditation technique. Probably talking about his connection has echo, so he's stayed mute. Yeah, you can say it once, Haresh bhai, and you can go mute again.
Yeah. Swamiji,
Okay.
my question
I get
was.
I get this.
Yeah.
Is here written? Please discuss meditation technique like Vipassana. Yes. Yes. So I said it. When we practice the asanas also, and what I said that the asanas also is a meditation in motion, meditation in movement. So what basically in Vipassana is also doing, you are sitting and observing the breath. And with this observing the breath slowly and gradually, then where you go, they lead you to a certain sensation, because this friction of the breath and the prana, which is happening into the body, it leading to certain kind of sensation into the body. So to be aware of that sensation. Now, as I mentioned this also, where the sensation are arising, the sensations are arising into the space, inner space. And then with those sensations, when you start going into the root of that sensations, then you start going into that inner space, and settling into the inner space is actually the meditation. That's I said, Des bandha chittasya dharana. I mentioned you in the point of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that getting established into that space, that consciousness again and again, again and again, binding it there, then you start going into the state of samadhi.
Great. There is another question from Piyush and Kinnari. Say, could you please explain the difference the brain or mind undergo during deep sleep and deep meditation? So like, what is the difference when we are in deep sleep or when we are in deep meditation?
Yes, it's the difference of the awareness. In the deep sleep, we are not aware where we are, yes, who we are, where we are lying, yes. In the deep meditation, it's also the same thing happen, but you are aware about yourself. That's why we say the deep sleep and the deep meditation, they somewhere there is a similarity. What is the similarity? That they bring out the same relaxation. Even the meditation bring the more relaxation, rather it bring the relaxation to us. It take us to the space where nothing belongs to us, we don't belong to anything, you are just there alone. And in deep sleep there is a sorts of inertia can happen, but in deep meditation there is no inertia. There is a increase of more and more sattva in you. That's why the meditation we prefer more rather than the sleep. Sleep also has the importance, and that's why in medical field a lot of thing has been discussed about the sleep. If you deprive anybody of the sleep, then obviously there is going to be health consequences. And I know few years back when you used to study about the sleep, America was on the top country who was suffering from the sleeplessness, and biggest industry about the sleeping pills. At a few years ago, when we were doing the study and the research about that, how this sleeping pill industry is growing, in that sense, yes, and which is very natural to us. And if we need to go to such kind of medicine and this thing, this is totally not a healthy way. There are certain asanas, there is a certain breathing, there are meditation techniques which can help to improve our sleep very naturally, and to turn the sleep into the meditation. That's we call the yoga nidra. You might have heard some of us before about the yoga nidra. It's a great science behind it, behind the yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is, that's why we call the yoga nidra, is a conscious sleep. In sleep, we become unconscious, but there is a conscious sleep. It gives the same, more than that sleep, we get the rest, but at the same time, we are aware about it. Okay, this is the one thing. Now, the question about what is the difference with the mind and the brain. Brain is the biological term, and it is designed just for protecting, and it keep on reacting. But the mind also had certain capability. That's why the yogi, they use that. The word is mind with the consciousness. That is the part of, we are the part of bigger phenomena. When we just talk about the chemistry of the brain, it doesn't involve the consciousness, because if you open the brain, you cannot find consciousness, something like this. But when you synthesize everything, the yogi, they realize, yes, there does exist the consciousness, and that is the difference. The yogi use the word mind for that, because that is not only the brain. Brain is the part of the mind, but not necessarily mind is the part of the brain. Does it make sense to us? Mind is, we say, into the bigger picture. That's why we say closed versus open mind, small versus big mind. Yeah, we use this kind of term that the mind, the mental phenomena is much, much bigger than the just chemistry of the brain.
Correct. So actually, I think the question was slightly different. Like, how it undergo, like brain or mind, how it undergo during meditation and sleep differently. So
yes, the brain waves when we go into the sleep. That sleep, actually, we go into the 4 stages. If anyone have studied about little bit about the sleep, so there is a 4 stages of the sleep. In that,
I think we probably lost the connection. We cannot hear you. Yeah, looks like connection lost too lage chhe. Yeah, Swamiji, you need to unmute.
so I'm here back again.
Yes, we can hear you now.
So I was speaking about the sleep, the wakefulness state. From the wakefulness state, we go into the, we have heard about this swapna, dreamy state. From that, we go into the sushupti. Yes, we might have a deep. In the sleep also, we go into these 4 stages. So now the question, as we were saying about the brain also, the brain waves slowly and gradually is becoming less and less. Our nervous system is becoming less and less active. That's why in the beginning of 10 minutes, what start happening, 10, 15 minutes, our body temperature start falling down, our brain waves start becoming less and less, our nervous system start becoming more and more calm, and that slowly and gradually we go into the this brain activity is becoming less and less, and then we go into the deep sleep. As we go into the deep sleep, then now the science is recognizing, then we get some dreams also. Why? Because there is some residue of the impressions and the sanskara and the thinking during the day which was expressed there. It comes on the surface, then again we come into the dream state, and then slowly and gradually again we go to the so that cycle happens in every 90 minutes to 2 hours. So during the sleep of 8 hours of sleep, this phase goes 3-4 times during the night. The yoga, let's say if you are taking 8 hours of sleep, so this cycle happens 3 to 4 times in a night, depending on your sleep. Are we able to listen so much?
Mukul bhai, you are mute.
Questions from
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry.
I was asking if there is a question, if there is any asana or pranayama specific that connects both the hemisphere properly.
Yes.
Cannot hear you. Yeah, looks like net issue started. Yeah, net issue started. And there are another question from iPhone. I don't know who's the person iPhone is. It's a difference of mind and buddhi. I think I will not consider that question because we are going away from the yoga, all of these things probably. So let's say when he comes back, we should, okay, Swamiji is back, I guess.
Unmute, yes.
Okay, great. So you are back. So we can hear you now.
Yes. But we need to conclude in 5 minutes and so.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, so I can go through some questions.
Yes, one question was like, any specific asana or pranayama that helps connecting both the hemisphere properly or betterly.
Yes, yes, thank you. And just 1 second, let me to connect to the. So balancing our hemisphere of the left and right, balancing posture. As I mentioned before, standing balancing posture. Let's say you are doing the tree pose, variations of the tree pose, Vrikshasana, then eagle pose, we have said before, yes, the dancer pose, Natrajasana, Hastapadangusthasana, standing, yes, holding. Then the pranayama, Nadi Shodhan pranayama, if we do with the mantra, that helps even more effective. Then there are certain asanas which we can do like on both the feet. Let's say Utkatasana, but now Utkatasana, the chair pose, you are doing with the both leg, putting the equal weight of the body on both the feet. So there are some asanas which we do with the equal weight, centralized. So let's say you do the Janusirsasana. If you do left and right, then you do the Paschimottanasana, bringing the energy into the center. But the standing balances poses are more effective. Nadi Shodhan pranayama, the full yogic pranayama, some inversions, forward bend. These are all the asanas are good to bring the balance in our brain. Are we able to hear me?
Yes, perfect. No, that was great information.
Okay.
Swamiji, yes, so we can conclude. Let's complete the prayer, and so by the time we will be done. So yes, all the questions pretty much answered.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I would like to say a couple of things. If anybody is interested, we have self-paced training. Self-paced training means we are the school here. I can't show you now. It's a little dark here, but I would have shown you the river is just next to us, the Ganga. We are on the river side. We have self-paced training. I think one of yesterday they have the person had joined for that.
Bakulbhai, if you can see
so in that we provide the recording. We provide the recording. So through the recording, you can complete the training in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, taking your time. And then we provide the Yoga Alliance certification. That Yoga Alliance, which is based in US, we give the certification. It gives the value to teach you anywhere in America, outside of the America. This is the international valid certificate. Then second thing is I have kept hold of already I have given just them the classes. We are starting a special group for the US people who are living into the US. There is going to be morning class, one class 90 minutes of yoga practice from 6 to 7:30 morning US time. And then in the evening, there are going to be 2 classes of 1 hour each from 7:30 to 10 p.m. in between that time zone. So this is the special group we are starting from Monday. from Monday onward. If anybody want to join in those live training, that will be completely live training where our teacher and including me will be giving the training. Yes. And you have a direct conversation. If you have some question, you are free to ask those questions. So that training is also I have kept on hold because we were supposed to have this the meeting, and then I thought, okay, maybe some of you also want to join into this, get this opportunity, because we cannot every time, manage the time according to the US people, but this time somehow we managed the 2 time, morning and evening, and that training is going to be approximately more than 1.5 months. During the day you can do your own work, and in the morning you get one yoga lesson, you get a practice, and then the evening again you get into the conversation with some philosophy and um, some meditation also. So if anyone who is interested, they can speak to Bakulji, or they can directly through the website, they can speak to us as well. So we will be happy to guide you and to help you any way to in any area of the body. Yes. So that I wanted to say a little thing about our training. So thank you so much for finding the time and having the conversation. Is everybody can hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Your sound is loud and clear. And yes, there was some brief interruptions in between, but right now is perfectly clear. So before we conclude, so let's will under your leadership, let's complete the closing prayer as well. And there
Okay.
was one request regarding if we can have a Gangaji darshan, but I don't know how is that possible or not.
I can show you. There's a lot of people, Kumbh Mela also have started 2 days ago from the Mahashivratri. Now, a lot of people there. So I can, let's see if it is possible to. I can take you out, and
Not too much.
because now I am in upper part. I am not in the yoga hall right now, but here probably you can see some light. Might be able you see. Have you been anyone into the this is you see some light there?
It's completely blank. It was completely dark.
Can we see that? Yeah.
No.
Oh, completely dark.
It's completely black.
Okay. Completely black.
And let's see.
There's some slim light there. There's the bridge and the river.
Yeah, now we can see. Yes.
Yes, so it's
I'm going
now
to,
we can see.
yeah, I'm going to spotlight.
Okay, maybe, and I can little bit.
Yeah, camera goes on and off. Maybe because of the net issue. Yes, we can see now. All the lights.
This is one of the bridge. Yes.
Oh, it's a bridge.
This is called a Lakshmanjula Bridge.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, okay. Lakshmanjula Bridge.
So let's we do the.
Yes.
नहीं बताओ
Let's do we do. Yeah, people just stay mute. Okay.
So let's close our eyes. So we sit eyes closed wherever we are sitting. Let's bring our both the palms in Namaste. And allow to settle into your breath, into your body. And we take a deep breath in, inhale. Exhale. And now for Om chant, we take a deep breath in, inhale. Om. Inhale. Inhale. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And now, with this attitude and prayer in our heart, that all the beings around us be happy, healthy, peaceful. They grow into the love and the knowledge more and more, get liberated in their life. With this prayer in our heart, slowly and gracefully, we can open our eyes and come back. So, thank you once again. Namaste to all of you. Have a very beautiful and lovely day. So thank you so much, Bakulji, and thank you so much for everyone who has joined for this live session and get this opportunity to have a short conversation with me. And I wish it will help you to boost your journey and help you to think about your practices, which you are doing. And the Bakulji is doing a very good job uh, taking the classes. And I'm happy to see that outside of India, we are having such groups and we are uplifting the life of each other, sharing their energy and the space. Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you so much. It was so nice of you that you spent more than 2 hours with us. It was great. Our session was wonderful. So we needed to, like, we've been practicing asanas and things, but there was some point we do need to stop and look back and think about all this aspect and theories and all of the things. That was the perfect time. We do need to learn all these things.
Yes, yes, yes. With the asanas, we need to understand. Without understanding, then after some time, we start, getting, oh, one thing, just one day we are practicing every day the same thing. And when we start understanding, that is also, understanding and then practice. When both the things go hand by hand together, then we continue. I could speak more, but the time constant is there. There is a two kind of knowledge. One kind of knowledge removing our obstacles, and the one kind of knowledge realizing the self, understanding the self. And they both are they complementary to each other, slowly and slowly. So I wish this is my heartful love and blessings to all of you, that you stay connected with your practice, and that brings the fulfillment and this liberation in this very life. Don't postpone it to another life. In this very life, and it happens soon to all of you. That's my love and blessings in the end to all of you. And I look forward to whenever you come to India, feel free to visit us. This is your home. Thank you and namaste again. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste. Okay, guys. So prayer was done. So that was really good session. આમાંથી આપણે આજે નોટ કર્યું કે ઘણી બધી વસ્તુઓ ક્યારેક ક્યારેક આપણે થોડી થોડી ખાલી ટચ જ કરતા હતા, but we got into so much depth and very nicely. એટલે પોઈન્ટ્સ અમુક નક્કી કર્યા હતા. મેં કીધું અઘરા પોઈન્ટ જ આપણે આપવાના હોય ને, હેલા હું કામ આપવાના, હેલા તો આપણે કરીએ છીએ.
This was very nice, Bakul bhai.
It was amazing.
તમે લઈ આવ્યા,
સ્વામીજીનું soothing voice અને બધું એમનું explanation was just absolutely
બકુલભાઈ આપણે ત્યાં ઇન્ડિયા ગયા અને ઋષિકેશમાં આપણે એમના આશ્રમમાં જવું હોય તો કેવી રીતના અરેન્જમેન્ટ થઈ શકે પહેલેથી?
હવે એ તો બહુ મને ખબર નથી પણ we have all the contact information, so we can figure it out very easily.
Okay.
I think it would be nice to stay there for a couple of days.
Maybe a week or something.
We have all the information. All we need just to call them.
Okay.
બકુલભાઈ આઈ થિંક એ લોકોને વેબસાઇટ ઉપર એ લોકો પબ્લિશ કરે છે જ્યારે પણ ઇન્ડિયા એ લોકોની લાઈવ ટ્રેનિંગ હોય છે ને એડવાન્સમાં જ બધા મંથ્સ અને ડેટ્સ એ લોકો આપતા હોય છે પણ સ્પેશિયલી જો આપણું કોઈ ગ્રુપ જવાનું હોય તો વી કેન રિક્વેસ્ટ ઇન એડવાન્સ આઈ થિંક એન્ડ દે શુડ બી
I think that would be so nice.
Aruna છે ને Aruna, she complete her yoga teacher training live sessions. Actually she did probably a month, actually a couple of weeks ago, because one training was done and then she enrolled into a second training and that training was done probably 2 weeks ago. So she knows much more.
Can we have Aruna Ben's contact in case if we need some more information? Okay. Good. Thank you.
Can you send us a website, please?
Yes. Actually, I if you remember 2 days ago in a yoga group, I posted one flyer.
Okay.
It has a website, all the information, but I will make sure I'll make sure it's there.
Thank you.
Yep.
બકુલભાઈ મજા આવી ગઈ.
Yes.
Bakul, this was very good, Bakul. I really enjoyed this.
અઢી કલાક જેવું થયું. મને તો નહોતું કે કદાચ I going to go in Vajrasan, but I don't need to. I did not even change my posture at all. Like 2.5 hours, I constantly sitting in the same posture. I didn't realize it was 2.5 hours.
It would be nice if he can come back and show us pranayam. That would be really nice, you know.
Yeah.
This was a very good integration of science and yoga.
Yeah.
Particularly me being a psychiatrist, all the things that he connected with the brain, that was very, very interesting for me personally. So thank you.
એ જ્યારે બધી વાત થતી હતી ને બેઉ સાઈડના હેમિસ્ફિયર ની કનેક્શન ને આ બધી ત્યારે યાદ આવ્યા હતા મેં કીધું સબ્જેક્ટ આવ્યો છે એમાં એને મજા આવશે.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed. So that's why I went to a website and get a little more information.
Yes.
Particularly what he said about the sleep. Sleep is so big a problem for a lot of people. It'll be wonderful to understand how can people sleep with the yoga and meditation. It'll be wonderful. So,
by 9+7 classes on different topics. Are those available every event to buy them or?
ફ્લાયર માં લખેલું જ છે તમે જુઓ ને ફ્લાયર માં લખેલું છે એ બધા અત્યારે અવેલેબલ છે.
Oh, okay.
So we can join or the buy them, right?
Yes, I think એ બધા સેશન માં લખ્યું હતું free. એટલે we can figure it out. કદાચ free હશે. આજે બધા સેશન જે બધા હતા ને એમાં એવું લખ્યું શિવરાત્રી નિમિત્તે આ બધા અમુક છે. I think એટલે ફ્લાયર માં એ હતું જે મેં મૂક્યું છે.
Okay.
એમના ઘણા બધા ક્લાસીસ છે ને $49 ના છે. Very cheap. $49.
That's good.
Month class. It's very
That's
cheap.
wonderful. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. તો બાકી બીજું સરસ એમાંથી એક બે ક્વેશ્ચન તો સ્કીપ થઈ ગયા છે પણ એમ કે પછી બહુ આમ જાદુ થતું જતું હતું અને ઇઝ નોટ એક્ઝેક્ટલી સ્પેસિફિકલી ઓન ધોઝ યોગા એન્ડ પ્રાણાયામ થિંગ એટલે પછી આપણે સ્કીપ કર્યા અને આ બધું આપણે રેકોર્ડિંગ થયું છે ગેલેરી વ્યૂમાં થયું છે અને સ્પીકર વ્યૂમાં થયું છે. There will be 2 kind of recording.